age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
This week, we sit down with Wisconsin Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski, and she talks about her run for lieutenant.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who considers a silver medal a participation award, Pete Schwaba.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Oh, my God. Conrad, you hear what I just said? Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it is Happy Tuesday. This is a great show tonight that we have in store for you guys. And a little bit of sad news today from the world of show business. Robert Redford passed away today, I guess, in the early morning hours at the age of 89. A true Hollywood icon, Robert Redford, dead at 89. Terrible news, although that is a pretty good run. And what a legacy he left behind. What a life he lived. I mean, talk about a guy who had incredible success throughout his career and branched off and had other success philanthropically, environment. He was an activist, an environmental activist. He started the Sundance Film Festival, the Sundance Institute. And in addition to having unbelievable acting credits, he also won an Oscar for directing the film Ordinary People with Mary Tyler Moore, Timothy Hutton. I think it was from 1983. He also won an Oscar in 2002, an honorary Oscar for just all the work he did in his career in founding the Sundance Institute. So really kind of bittersweet because he was an old guy, had a great career. You still hate to see him go. It's kind of a sad day, despite the fact that he lived almost 9 decades. Robert Redford. We will talk about Robert Redford throughout the show. We will mention him in our question of the night, so be prepared for that, folks. And at 7:05, we will have some clips from one of my favorite films of all time is The Sting, and he was in The Sting with Paul Newman and Bernard Shaw. And I was on the Todd Alba show today talking about Robert Redford, and Todd told a story I didn't know. I knew that Paul Newman went to bat for Robert Redford to be in the cast of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which really put him on the map. I did not know that in 1975, it was Robert Redford that went to bat for Paul Newman to get him in The Sting. I mean, Paul Newman is a legend. And in 1975, or even before that, when they started production, I don't know, what was he, 50? It's not like he was over the hill. So great friends and a great story. So we'll hear a little more about Robert Redford throughout the rest of the show. And this is a fun show tonight, folks. We have Dr. Susan Kearns will be here at 6:35. There's a really, really cool film festival in Milwaukee that's taking place, and we're going to tell you all about that. Susan is going to tell you all about that, and she's a really fun guest. We have her on from time to time because Milwaukee Film is a very active group, and they do a lot of cool things for documentary film, and in this case, it will be for independent film, and in this case, it will be for documentary films that we will discuss this cool festival. And then at 7:20, Trapper Shep will be here. I've been a fan of Trapper's music really, I would say, for about a year and a half. Every Friday here at Nite Lite, we do Bar Band Friday night. Terry Barr comes on and brings us new music. Oftentimes, they're Wisconsin-based artists who you can see playing around the state. She introduced me to the music of Trapper Shep, and I've been trying to get him on the show since, not harassing him or anything, but reaching out periodically, and finally we were able to make it happen. We sat down with Trapper yesterday, and we will play that interview at 7:20, and that will take us to the end of the show. We're going to hear a couple of his tunes, a great story he tells about finishing a Bob Dylan song. He found lyrics to a song that Dylan wrote called Wisconsin that were not finished, and they were about to be auctioned off. And Trapper got the lyrics, wrote his own lyrics to go with it, composed it, arranged it, and sent it in, and Bob Dylan liked it. And as a result, the song On Wisconsin is co-written by Trapper Shep and the legendary Bob Dylan. So very excited to have him on the show tonight. And there you go. Conrad, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
You were producing a show earlier when I reached out. What show were you producing?
Well, it's a new show. It's called Always on Point.
Ah.
Well, it's their second season, but it's a podcast. They only did the podcast last year. Now they're on the radio and doing the podcast, and that's on Sundays.
Look at that. On
right
the Civic
after
Media.
Kristen Lyerly, yeah.
Nice. Outstanding. And you record Kristen's show on Wednesdays, right?
It depends on the week, whatever time she needs, I'll get it there for her.
Good Doctor is a busy girl. No
Yes, she
question about
is.
that. We're going to have her on the show next week, so that'll be fun. All right. So, as I mentioned, Robert Redford has passed away, and that is the perfect lead into our Nightlight question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
I'm sure you can see this one coming a mile away, folks. What is your favorite Robert Redford film? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Now, I realize he is 89 years old, and for some of our younger listeners, maybe in Conrad's demographic or 10 or so years older than that, just to refresh your memory, All the President's Men, and a lot of these are going to be older titles, but they're on all the time. The Natural, Sneakers, The Sting, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Way We Were with Barbra Streisand. Pardon me. Robert Redford is a showbiz titan and by all accounts a really good guy who just led a great life. So that's our question tonight. Very simple. What is your favorite Robert Redford movie? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can text us on the Civic Media app, which is very easy to use. We're on statewide on most of the stations. So you just click the little icon right next to the station you're listening on and fire away. And if you're listening on or watching on the stream on YouTube, Facebook, or X, you can drop a stream comment and we will read that on the radio as well. So that's our question of the night. What is your favorite Robert Redford movie? And I'm excited. I'm going to go first. I'll just say The Sting. As I mentioned, I was on Todd Alba's show earlier in the day this afternoon, and when I saw The Sting, it was one of those movies that just made me want to be in the movie. Not acting in the movie, but in the world. It was so beautifully constructed. Shot a lot of it in Chicago, but a lot of it on a lot in L.A. I think on the Fox lot, because I remember being in that area one time and somebody pointed it out, and I saw the place from the scene where Robert Redford basically jumped off the steps of a walk-up trying to avoid two goons who were coming to kill him. And even though that wasn't on location, it was on a back. It just looked beautiful. The whole film is outstanding. The aesthetics of it are gorgeous. The acting is amazing. The writing, and then you got Scott Joplin's music and the soundtrack. And it's just a great film about how they conned Doyle Lonigan, played by Robert Shaw. So that would be my favorite Redford film, but loved Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Loved The Natural. And I really love All the President's Men, another film that you kind of feel when you're watching it, the creepiness and the eeriness of what's around the corner. Conrad, you got a fave?
Yeah, I'd say, when I can't remember what grade it was. I think 7th, we read The Great Gatsby.
Oh, yeah.
And then we
course.
watched the movie after we were done with it. And we didn't watch the Leo DiCaprio version. We watched the Robert Redford Great Gatsby,
nice.
which I
Okay.
believe came out in like 1980s or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't realize it until I was like, oh, I wonder what movies. Today I looked it up. I was like, wait a second.
Boy, that's I want to say, I'm trying to look that up right now. I think Robert Redford, okay. Great Gatsby had to be late 70s, maybe?
Yeah. It was, yeah, it's such a fantastic movie, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it's excellent.
You talk about wanting to be in a film.
Yes.
I think that's one of them.
On Long Island and the big homes and that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a beautifully made film as well. So that's what we're talking about, folks. Let us know what your favorite Robert Redford film is. I say The Sting. Con says The Great Gatsby. Kind of a film I forgot that he was I totally forgot about that movie, maybe because they remade it. He's also a creative force behind the film Dark Winds, which is, I think, is it an A&E show? I watched the whole run of the show. Really enjoyed it. It's about a reservation cop, and Robert De Niro is one of the executive producers behind it, a TV show. They did 20 episodes. Good show. I recommended it. I think I made it a Pete's pick, and got his start on Hitchcock Presents, and then did a Neil Simon play on Broadway called The Way We Were, which he later starred in the movie with Barbra Streisand. So that was kind of, I think that was like his second movie role, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, that will be dominating a lot of our talk tonight. But Robert Redford, let us know what your favorite Robert Redford movie is. I think we have a call. Con, who's on the phone?
Yeah, Tracy from Green Bay.
Oh, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Hello. Good.
How's it going tonight?
My favorite was A Walk in the Woods, his latest one.
Oh, I see. I have not seen that. All right, I have to see that.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
What kind of movie was that, Tracy? Was it like a thriller or a drama?
It was a comedy. It was with Nick Nolte.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Oh,
It's
wow.
not really comedy. There's funny parts in it. It's about getting old and walking that big long that goes from one state to another.
Okay.
It's actually from a real book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nick Nolte and Emma Thompson play opposite Redford from 2015. I have not seen that. I will have to check that out. That's fantastic.
Gotta watch it.
All right. I appreciate the recommendation. Thank you, Tracy.
All right.
Have a great night. She's from Green Bay, Conrad. That's where we are. She could be right around the corner from me. She could be down at Hagermeister Park.
She could be upstairs.
Having a buffalo burger. She could be. I'll tell you where she's not is in the kitchen. That is a bad smell. I don't know what is happening in the kitchen here tonight.
Did you walk in there and,
No, I didn't. I don't do those kinds of things because I'm a civilized human being.
Yeah, I
What
just
were you
had
gonna
to make
say,
sure.
Go to the kitchen and rip one? You think I'm that guy? No. I go down to the Fox River where no one can tell the difference.
Okay.
So, just for future reference. Boy, we got a lot of candidates out here tonight for Window Love. Walking by.
You got to get a big group once.
I know. Just get like a choral group or something. You know what I did today? I cut my finger. Paper cut, it's hard to even, like, it's one of those things you don't even want to talk about because you sound like, kind of a wuss or whatever. But, like, they can be really painful. Like, I was opening almonds today, and the Blue Diamond almonds, you peel that sort of foil back, and I sliced my finger. Like, if that had been my, like, jugular, and a lot of times I open almonds really close to my jugular just so I can smell them when I'm opening them. But it was, like, bleeding profusely. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know.
That's hilarious that you did that opening almonds.
I feel like I need to talk about veterans now to get the stink off that story I just told. Did you know that Nick Cannon has a podcast where he's giving relationship advice?
That's great. Are you going to listen?
One episode, how to have 12 kids and give them really weird names. And then you're done. I don't think you need anything more.
Yeah.
Oh, fun stuff tonight, folks. Susan Kearns is here at 6:35 talking about a really cool event coming up from Milwaukee Film. And then Trapper Shep is here at 7:20. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Robert Redford movie? We are live till 7:20, folks, so get those answers in, and we'll read them on the radio. When we come back, I don't know. What should we do, Conrad? Maybe talk about Nick Cannon's kids.
Talk about the Bears' loss.
All right, we'll be right back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I really wanna go with you. I really wanna show you, Lord, that it won't take long, my Lord.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
As a U.S. Navy veteran and business owner, I've lived through moments where every detail counts, and I carry that into mass appeal. That's why I personally ensure we deliver top quality promotional materials like t-shirts, sweatshirts, and more to help your company, whether it is a local business or school, gain the visibility it needs to thrive. Your logo is our business, and we're here to make your vision come true.
Go to massappealwi.com or drop by their shop on Lineville Road, just off Highway 41.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton, improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit wiinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.fm and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.fm, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service.
I asked you not to tell me about the Bears. I have the game TiVo'd. I don't know what happened yet. Please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
Can I at least tell you the score difference?
Here's the thing. I will find a way to get back at you. And you can look. And here's the thing. As a sports fan, all my teams have won championships in the last 12. I can take it because I'm very fortunate. I actually, I have so many friends that cheer against my teams. My heart is so filled with love. I want them to experience. I want them to when the Bucks won. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
they're not my number one team, but I was happy about it, and I have no ill will. But if I was like a Cleveland fan right now, I'm not cheering for anybody but my teams. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, that's got some rough roads.
Just the worst. They've got to be one of the worst franchises in the world in any sport. They're like Ted Lasso. They should have that woman running, and I mean the actress.
I saw a graphic today, and it was over the last 100 seasons, the record, or last 100 games. 100 games, sorry.
Oh, wow.
And Cleveland was actually above the Bears.
Over the last 100 years?
Games is what I meant.
Oh, games.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. 100. They're the flagship franchise. My great grandpa went to high school at George Halas.
Okay.
And the old Mayor Daley and my cousins, somehow the family tickets ended up on the wrong side of the tree.
Oh no.
And they're great. They're like 50-yard line seats. I think they have like 4 of them, and they throw them to us once in a while, and they're awesome guys. I don't think I could. I don't think I would pay for that because I don't think I would
go to every game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if my team was in a town like Green Bay and they played down the street.
Yeah, that's a little easier to get to.
It's a little easier. And frankly, if I lived in Chicago, I would live downtown. I wouldn't want to live way out, so I'd probably use them, but I'm not going to use,
I heard it's very hard to get out of Soldier Field when the game's done.
People need to stop complaining. They are such whiny. I'm telling you. Okay, so I know this is Chicago talk, but like when they were talking about the stadium downtown, I have friends in the suburbs. Getting all the way down there is a pain. I go, it's 8 Sundays a year. It's not easy to get to any. Even Green Bay is a hassle. Even if you live in town, there's a production. It's easier here. But stop complaining. It's a professional sports team. Unbelievable. So I read this. I thought this was interesting. It said Robert Redford died at 89 years old in his sleep, surrounded by family. How creepy is that?
They just were watching him?
I guess so. Like, I just thought that created kind of a weird visual. Like, give the guy some space.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Bobby Redford, no longer with us. That's terrible. Susan Kearns will be here in just a few minutes, folks, to tell us all about the Dialogues Documentary Film Festival in Milwaukee. Very excited to have Susan back on the show, and Trapper Shep at 7:20. Going to social media, our responses on our question of the night, which is, what is your favorite Robert Redford film? Sarah Jean says, This Property is Condemned. He co-starred with Natalie Wood, who is one of my favorites. Wow, I have not seen that. Thank you, Sarah Jean. Sarah Jean is, I don't know if you noticed, she's a very savvy texter. She always pulls stuff out I'm not expecting. That's exciting. Matt Harper, Jeremiah Johnson. Yeah, great film, Matt. I remember watching that when I was much younger. Really good film. I needed to rewatch a lot of these, though, frankly, because I just kind of remember how I felt about them and not the nuts and bolts, other than like 4 or 5 of them. Boris Hamilton, my pal, says there's a few, but Sneakers is a lot of fun. Sneakers is fun. Like kind of a high-tech hacker film. It's one of the first hacker films, I think.
It's not about sneakers?
They are sneakers.
Oh.
It's not about the shoes, though, but they sneak in and they wear sneakers because they're quieter. So I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch a lot of these. Jody Hinman on social media says The Natural. I feel like we're going to hear a lot of that tonight. Yeah, and Sean Boyce also on Facebook. The Natural. It's my sister Julie's favorite movie. One of her favorite movies. She named her dog Roy Hobbs after Redford's character in The Natural. She gave her dog a full man's name, Roy Hobbs. And she'd say, come here, Roy Hobbs. Sometimes she'd call him Roy, but she would say the full, like she loved that movie.
You should have gave a middle name, too, so it's like that. Then you're scolding the dog.
Roy William Hobbs, you come in here right this second. Yeah, exactly. Let's go to some of our text responses for our question of the night. Your favorite Robert Redford film. The 608 says, thanks. It affects all of us. No, those are not meant for us. Tyler is our first one, right?
I think so.
And I don't know what this quote is. I want to say this is from Jeremiah Johnson. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids says, can you skin a grizz, Pilgrim? I think that's Jeremiah Johnson. Todd Alba was saying today that his favorite Redford film was The Electric Horseman. And that was a great film. It was Robert Redford, Jane Fonda, and it had a great commentary just kind of on, glitz and all that kind of stuff. And it was a really good film. Willie Nelson sings the song, My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys. Can you grab that song? That's a great tune. Willie Nelson. That's another one. We were talking about that earlier. When Willie Nelson passes away, that's going to be a rough day, too. Anna from Addison in the 608 says, hi, Pete and Conrad. My favorite Robert Redford film is The Way We Were. Redford and Streisand were great together. Yes, they were. Very a great choice, Anna. Thank you. Steve from Florida, that's Conrad's dad, says, all-time greatest Robert Redford movies. The Natural, a great inspirational movie for me, for your dad, personally, Conrad. That's cool. And The Sting, all-time greatest con job movie to take down a very bad man. Yeah, I'm with you, Steve. That's one of my, that's probably, The Sting is probably top 5 for me. Tom from New Berlin says, he's in the 414, says, Pete started scrolling. He was in a clam bake with Elvis Presley? Is that true, Tom? I got to look that up in the break. All right, keep those texts coming, folks. When we come back, we'll be joined by Dr. Susan Kearns from Milwaukee Film, telling us about this really cool film festival they have happening shortly, and then Trapper Shep at 7:20. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And it feels like love got the radio on, and it's all that we need. There's a heartbreak beat, and it feels like love.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW. As Wisconsin as a fish fry on a Friday night, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. Hundreds of people packed into the Preble High School Commons area last night to share their opinions on how to keep our kids safe in school. Green Bay police, school, and city leaders hosted a community roundtable for families to offer their input on what safety measures should be put in place in Green Bay schools. More police at schools, increased mental health resources, and a new dress code policy were some of the options discussed. The new safety protocols were prompted by the discovery of a loaded gun and ammunition in a backpack at Preble last week. Community leaders thanked those in attendance for the huge turnout and overwhelming support that's been pouring in from the community. Green Bay Schools Communications Director Lori Blakesley says more than $42,000 in donations have flooded in since the district announced a new clear bag policy last week. The school board will review all the ideas that came out of last night's meeting and make a presentation at the next school board meeting on October 13th. 140 years after it sank, searchers have found the ghost ship that went down off Door County in 1886. The Wisconsin Historical Society and the Wisconsin Underwater Archaeology Association made the announcement yesterday. After decades of scouring the bottom of Lake Michigan, searchers found the wreckage of the F.J. King, a 144-foot, three-masted cargo schooner used to transport grain and iron ore. Searchers found the wreck off Bailey's Harbor on the east shore of Lake Michigan in the northern part of Door County. Maritime experts say the ship ran into a gale off the Door Peninsula on September 15th, 1886, while moving iron ore from Escanaba, Michigan to Chicago. For news at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM, I'm Connie Fellman, 97.9
I'm Pete Schwaba.
WGBW News.
If this past weekend box office earnings are any indication, anime has completely arrived. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle found itself at the top of the box office with a $70 million opening weekend. Its opening day take of $33 million was the highest opening ever for an anime film. Last week's number one film, The Conjuring Last Rites, held off three challengers for the number two spot and a take of $26 million. The three new releases include Downton Abbey, which brought in $18 million big ones in its first week of release to finish at number 3. The Stephen King-inspired The Long Walk pulled in $11.5 million over the weekend. The film is based on King's first novel of the same title. And in fifth place was sort of a new release, or more accurately, a new re-release, as Toy Story brought in over $3 million on over 200 screens, giving it a massive haul of $195 million, dating back about 30 years. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin as a game of cribbage with good friends, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the upper 50s. Hot and humid again tomorrow, high in the mid-80s. Some showers and storms in the late afternoon, with increasing clouds throughout the day. Storm chances continue tomorrow night, Thursday, and Friday. It's 82 right now.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, soy.
up dreaming of being a cowboy.
Welcome back.
And loving the cowboy ways.
Willie Nelson's no spring chicken either, man. I think he's 91. That's a great tune. My heroes have always been cowboys, from the movie Electric Horseman that starred Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. All right, we will read more of your text. Our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Robert Redford movie? And I have to make an apology and a mea culpa here. We have a great new sponsor here on the show who sponsors our first guest of the week. But yesterday we were kind of discombobulated a little bit, and it slipped away. So we're going to have our sponsor both guests tonight, which will be exciting. Chicken and the Egg. I've got to get my copy, and I'll do that because Chicken and the Egg is sponsoring both guests tonight. So we will read you everything they offer. It's coming up right now. It is my pleasure to welcome to Nite Lite, back to Nite Lite, I should say. She's been here a few times before. The executive director of Milwaukee Film, Dr. Susan Kearns. Susan, welcome back.
Hi, thanks so much for having me back.
It's always nice to have a doctor in the house, even if you're over the phone.
Well, I do what I can.
It's better than nothing. It's great to have you. How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well, very well. I was sad to hear about the passing of Robert Redford. I heard your memorials or your little tribute there. So he was a great actor.
Yeah, he sure was. And what a career. I mean, acting, directing, producing. Do you have a favorite Robert Redford film, Susan?
I love All the President's Men.
Yeah.
I think it's just fantastic. So that's right up there.
I watch that every election cycle, like every 4 years. It's one of those movies I think that is timeless, and I love the aesthetics of it, the setting, and the kind of what's around the cornerness of it. It's just so great. It's such a great film.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Very cool. Okay, well, you've got this great film festival coming up, the Dialogues Documentary Festival. From September 18th through the 21st. Milwaukee Film is so active, and you guys do such great things for the community there in Milwaukee, but also for those of us who don't mind a road trip to one of your great film festivals, whether it's the Milwaukee Film Festival or the second annual. I didn't realize that until earlier today. This is the second annual Dialogues Documentary Fest.
Yeah, so we just started this last year, and it's really a chance to showcase more of the amazing documentaries that come out throughout the year. As you probably know, documentaries don't often get their time in the sun in movie theaters. You just don't see them in the theaters that often. And there's so many great documentaries that are coming out all the time. So we like to, give just a few days, 4 days, to really focus on them and bring them to the audiences of Southeast Wisconsin.
It's funny. You have so many films. And you're right. And I love the fact that documentarians get to watch their film with a packed movie house, because I don't think that happens nearly enough as well. And there's such great documentaries, and they seem like they're more popular than ever, but it's usually people sitting at home on Discovery or Prime or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're trying to change that with this festival. And part of the reason we call it Dialogues Documentary Festival is because we're also really trying to pair a number of these films with discussion of some kind. So obviously we'll have a bunch of the filmmakers in town, but we also have, some local folks who are engaged in either similar areas or similar topics who will be able to contribute to the experience as well.
I was reading the press release that Robin Ehrlich sent me, and I read this, and I couldn't believe this. It said these are all unbelievable true stories. Is that all of them? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you hope for with documentaries anyway, is that they're true. Yeah.
No mockumentaries, I guess. All right. Your list of films is so long, I don't even know where to start, but are there any highlights that you can give us, or can I ask you about various ones? I don't want to put you on the spot because even as good as you are at your job, there are a ton of movies at this festival.
Sure. Well, I'll point out a couple that I'm excited about. I will say that on Saturday, for folks traveling up, because I know your audience tends to have a little bit more of a drive, Saturday is just an amazing day because there's, 4 movies in each theater. Our full festival pass is only $65.
Yeah.
So if you even just come for one day, that is 100% worth it. I mean, obviously you can buy individual tickets too, But on Saturday, one of the films we're showing is called We Are Pat. And I don't know if you remember the character Pat from Saturday Night Live.
Julia Sweeney,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, this movie is so charming, and basically it's, the filmmaker really saying that, like, the filmmaker loved this character when they were a kid, and then looking back, they were like, is this character problematic? And they started to realize that they saw themselves in this character, and, and we're like, the character doesn't really fit today, but what they wanted to do was figure out, like, how can we still find joy in this character, and why does this character still resonate? So they team up with Julia Sweeney, who's in much of the documentary. It's so charming and so smart, and really just a nuanced look at, like, how comedy changes, but there are elements that still really, can still resonate with folks. And so I was really charmed by that film.
My guest is Dr. Susan Kearns. She's the executive director of Milwaukee Film. They do great things in the Milwaukee community when it comes to independent film. And they have two great venues. So if you're listening in the Milwaukee area right now, the Oriental and the Downer, 4 films in each on Saturday. Susan just told us about one of them. And so will there be a Q&A after that one, Susan?
That one, no. Those filmmakers actually could not, unfortunately, make it. But yeah, it's still absolutely worth seeing, especially, again, on the big screen. Yeah.
This, I thought, was interesting. There's one you have here called Farming While Black, about black farmers. And it said that they used to own, or at least in the film description, 14% of the farms were owned by black people. And I think if that was just in America, I think their population out of all of us was like 10%. So that's a really impressive number. But now it's like 2%.
Yeah. Yeah. So this documentary really sort of dives into that and, what happened. And I think one of the things that people don't always think about when they think of farming is just like how involved politics are with the landscape of farming. Now, in Wisconsin, we're a little more tapped into it than a lot of states are, but it's just a really interesting look at how that situation changed and what changed over the years to cause that shift.
I also liked, and you don't have to, if you don't have these on the tip of your tongue, that's fine, but there's one called Cat Town USA that looked interesting about old cats and the connection with their owners. That looked great. And then Kristen Catalano, who made a documentary several years ago called Clarence, I interviewed her on PBS Wisconsin. Great film. She has a film in the Dialogues Documentary Fest called Malignant Practice about women's healthcare that looks interesting.
Yeah, and so that screens on Sunday, and that's actually the world premiere of Malignant Practice. So, so there will be a number of folks there. She'll be there. Some of the other filmmakers will be there as well. And it's an incredibly personal doc about, about how you survive getting a diagnosis, but also what then happens when you have to navigate the healthcare system, and how, the diagnosis is one thing, and then the healthcare system becomes another challenge on top of the health issue itself. So I think it's something that, unfortunately, a lot of people, can really relate to.
And it's an animated short, too, which I find interesting to tell, the story.
And it's a bit longer. I think it's about 45 minutes. So it's not quite a short, but it's not quite a feature. So.
Okay. You can find more information, folks, and I assume get tickets, Susan, correct me if I'm wrong, at www.mkefilm.org/DDF. But I think if you just get to Milwaukee Film, you can navigate it, and there'll be a ton of information there, I would imagine.
Yep, absolutely.
So are you producing any films right now, Susan? I was reading up more about you, and earlier today, I was like, she knows so many of the same people I do, and the people that I've interviewed on PBS, these independent filmmakers, this great community in Milwaukee. I know you've worked with Tate Bunker and John Bezak and Chris Thompson and all these great filmmakers that I really have enjoyed talking to over the years. Are you involved in any projects right now?
I sure am. Yep.
And where does that fall? Your love of filmmaking as opposed to what you do now? Do you have a preference?
I wouldn't say I have a preference. I like being able to, to be in both worlds. But I will admit that, where it falls right now is mostly on, weekends when I can fit it in because I'm very busy with the festival and Milwaukee Film in general. But I've been working with a filmmaker named Lily Warren for a number of years on a feminist true crime documentary called Uncoiled. So we're trying to get that in shape. So yeah, hopefully that'll be out within the next, couple of years anyway.
That's the voice of Susan Kearns. The second annual Dialogues Documentary Festival, Film Festival, runs in Milwaukee September 18th through the 21st at the Downer and Oriental Theaters. Go to mkefilm.org for more information. Before we let you go, Susan, are you binge watching anything you could share with us? Something you didn't produce or were part of?
Well, I will tell you what I watched most recently that I'm not binge watching, but I'm excited about, which is the new season of Taskmaster. I don't know if you've watched that. It's a British comedy show that is only available on YouTube. It is a delight. It is so funny. It's a great way to spend the last hour of your day. So Taskmaster, I think this is season 20. So if you like silly tasks, comedians doing silly tasks, it is 100% the show for you.
I have never heard of that. I will check that out. I appreciate that. Thank you. What about movies? Have you seen anything you could recommend, either in the theater or any good indie films?
Last weekend we had Michael Schultz in town, and so I was really preparing for that, and I rewatched Cooley High and Car Wash, and just both of those films hold up so incredibly well. It was watching both of those on the big screen with an audience. What it reminded me is just how different it is to see a movie, even a movie you've seen a number of times at home, how different it is to see it on the big screen, because you can immediately interact with camera movement differently and character emotion differently. And it was a good reminder of why we do what we do. It was really excellent.
I never wanted to be a Milwaukee resident more than when I saw he was going to be there, because I remember Car Wash specifically when I was younger. And how did that interview go? Is he like, I would imagine he's really engaging just because of the career he's had, but is he kind of more reserved or is he outgoing?
Oh, no, he was a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, he was chatting with everybody. I actually joked that we were going to make him the mayor by the end of the weekend. But he was just so approachable. He had friends from high school who showed up that he hadn't seen in over 50 years. He had family show up that he had never met. It was just so great.
Conrad, memo, we got to get Michael Schultz on the show. That would be very cool. Well, I'm glad it went well. Good luck with this new Documentary Dialogues Film Festival. It sounds great, Susan. And thank you, as always, for your time. Always fun to talk to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I'll hope to see you at the theater.
All right. Sounds good. That's Susan Kearns. Check out, ladies and gentlemen, the Dialogues Documentary Film Festival. This is the second annual. It's only the second year. So it's still kind of in its infancy, but they have so many films to choose from. So check it out and report back to us here at Nite Lite. And when we come back, we're going to tell you about Chicken and the Egg promo. And I have a really funny clip with Steve Carell. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Cowboys are special, with their own brand of misery from being alone too long.
Come work with us. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state. Open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
There was a time when barbecue was perfect. A strong, reliable flavor that could be counted on. But then big manufacturers decided that barbecue needed to be zesty or spicy or sweeter or whatever. If you miss the good old days of great tasting barbecue, we'd like to introduce you to Grandpa's Barbecue. Made in small batches from Grandpa's original recipe. Buy yours online today at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic Sports in Wisconsin. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. From fighting wildfires with air support, helping civilians in flooded neighborhoods, to delivering food and supplies to those who have lost everything, the Army National Guard always responds when disaster strikes. The Army National Guard also trains to be ever vigilant against threats, foreign and domestic. They protect our skies with missile defense weaponry. They secure our information, communications, and infrastructure with cybersecurity. And they protect us against chemical, biological, and radiological hazards with the civilian support team. The Army National Guard also stands ready to deploy and provide support for conflicts or humanitarian missions abroad. Join the Army National Guard and be there to respond, protect, and support your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals, so I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling,
Welcome
yeah.
back. It's Flo Rida's birthday. What better way to celebrate than with a good feeling? That's a great tune.
That just reminds me of my childhood.
I know, and that's like when my kids, I just remember hearing that. I think Flo Rida performed at the Nick Awards or Disney Awards or something, and it was like this incredible performance. Yeah. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So there you go. This segment, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Chicken or the Egg Photography. Chris specializes in food, event, music, and product photography for businesses across Wisconsin and the Midwest. See what he can do for you at chickenortheeggphotography.com. Chris is a great guy, folks, and he does great work. He's been on the show before. And he is a new sponsor to Nite Lite and will be with us for the next few weeks at least. So we will excitedly have him back on the show. Check out his work at his website. He does really, really good work. And Trapper Shep is coming up at 7:20. I talked to Trapper yesterday, and we played a couple of his songs, and we are going to air that interview at 7:20. So we will be live until then. So get your texts in now if you want us to read them. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Robert Redford film? Robert Redford passed away today at the age of 89. So there you go. We've got several texts we need to get to here, so let's do that. You know what we have to do, though, also? I want to play this Steve Carell clip. So let's do that.
Yeah,
because
it's hilarious. This
is Steve Carell auditioning for the Anchorman, and you know more about the film than I do, probably, Con. I've seen it once, maybe 1.5 times, and was an actual scene from the movie that was cut, though, right?
Yeah, it was cut, which I rewatched. After you sent me this, I was like, all right, I have to watch the scene now.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it got cut. It's so funny.
I mean, just him auditioning. He's auditioning like he's holding like a sweet roll, right? But it's actually a coffee filter with cigarette ashes in it or something.
Yeah, coffee grounds.
And he's just cracking up. So a lot of it, some of it is visual. It's Steve Carell laughing, but you can hear it. It's great energy, and it's a really funny clip.
Falafel hot dogs with cinnamon and bacon on top.
What do you mean one of those? Those don't exist. That's a used coffee filter with cigarette butts on it.
Well, I got it out of the food basket at the end of the lunch line.
That's a garbage can. Although with the cooking here, there's not much difference. It's really true. The cooking's very bad here.
Terrible.
You're gonna get sick. I'm just telling you one more time, you're gonna get
sick. So much fun.
No, it is.
I have such a good time with you guys. Oh no, I'm gonna choke. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. Okay. No, one more. Oh.
Rick, you want some water? Some water? Maybe?
I got nothing.
That was all legitimate laughter. He was reading with Will Ferrell, because I'm sure it was like a final callback. And you can hear them all cracking up. And Steve Carell, with that awkward laughter he has, like he's just trying to fit in. It's so awkward and funny. And he's cracking up. That is a gem. I don't even know where I saw that. It was on like Instagram or something. But I love when those things pop up. Very funny stuff. All right, so we've got our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Robert Redford movie? Robert Redford passed away today. Let's get to some of these texts before it gets to be too late. Craig Knitt on the stream says Jeremiah Johnson is fantastic. But for me, Robert Redford will always be the Sundance Kid for more reasons than one. Yeah, that's a great, hard to go wrong with the Sundance Kid because that's the movie that kind of put him on the map. John in Madison says it sure as hell isn't Indecent Proposal. But Woody was good in that one. You know what, John? I agree with you, but that was a pretty bad movie. But I think more so it didn't age well. I didn't really like it when it came out. It's Demi Moore. And I thought, No, it's Woody Harrelson and who played his wife. That was the one where he wanted to sleep with his wife for $1 million. And it wasn't a great movie. But they can't all be gems, John. Stu in Jefferson says, Spy Games. Yes, Brad Pitt. Great film. Thank you, Stu. John also says, never saw that kind of desperation coming from Robert. Hope to hell he didn't direct it. Couldn't tell you if he directed that or not. But look, somebody backs up a truck full of money to his house, and he gets to work with Woody Harrelson. And now I got to find out. Con, can you find out who the female lead is in?
Demi Moore?
I think it's Demi Moore. I'm pretty sure. I have to go. Dave, texting us in the old school line tonight as opposed to the stream. Dave says, a river runs through it. Yeah, I have fond memories of watching. I watched that with my dad and my brother. Great movie. John in Madison also says, love that Robert established the Sundance Film Festival. Bravo and kudos. What a great idea for small filmmakers. Yes, it was a great idea at the time. And I said earlier on the Todd Alba show that I thought that because of the Sundance Film Festival, that's probably the reason we have 15 to 20 film festivals in Wisconsin now. It just started something. Like, it wasn't the first film festival ever, but man, they caught fire. And they're all over the place now, and I think it's great. Tom from New Berlin says, The Unfinished Life, Redford, Morgan Freeman, and J-Lo Becca Gardner. I don't know that movie, Tom. Another one to add to the list. Thank you, buddy. Mark from Prairie du Sac says, that is Jeremiah Johnson. His response was something like, I can skin anything. Yeah, okay, I thought it was Jeremiah Johnson. Due for a rewatch on that one, too. Let's see if we can get one more in here. John from Madison again. The Sting was my first taste. Awesome performance, and he's damn near as handsome as me. I used to concede that he was more handsome for his career's sake, but now the truth comes out. Yeah, you can say it now, John. You're more handsome than Robert Redford, but you're hiding out in Madison. Get yourself to Hollywood, buddy. All right, when we come back, we're going to recap everything you've missed. We're going to play. We got a couple great Robert Redford clips too, and we'll do all that when we come back. And Trapper Shep is here at 7:20. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
it happens in Wisconsin.
Local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Dave Packer. The accused killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk making his very first court appearance over webcam today before Judge Tony Gaff.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
This shortly after prosecutors in Utah announced they'll seek the death penalty against the 22-year-old.
County Attorney Jeff Gray described Robinson's appearance in widely circulated photos, the black cap, shades, T-shirt with an eagle and an American flag. Millions saw those images. One of them was the suspect's own mother.
Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it.
Prosecutors say Robinson's parents convinced him to turn himself in.
ABC's Matt Gutman. At the heart of the investigation, Robinson's text messages to his roommate where he claimed he used his grandpa's rifle, a rifle authorities say had Robinson's DNA on the trigger. This is ABC News.
As Wisconsin is dropping a line in your favorite fishing spot, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW Newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. Some Green Bay high school football players got a big treat last night when Packers quarterback Jordan Love stopped by practice. Love was at Southwest High School to launch his second annual Love for Cleats initiative. For every touchdown Love throws or runs during the Packers season, his foundation donates Nike cleats to youth sports. Last year, Love for Cleats donated more than 1,300 pairs of cleats to programs across Wisconsin. The stage is set for another season of uplifting music in Green Bay. The AVB Community Band kicked off their concert season last night at the Schwaba Performing Arts Center. Formerly known as the Alloway Village Band, the volunteer concert band has gained in popularity through the years thanks to high-level performances by the 75-member group and the free admission. 44 years ago, local music teacher Bob Searing founded the band with the mission that anyone in the community should be able to come out and enjoy a quality music performance at no cost. The AVB Community Band has honored that mission and never charges admission for their monthly concerts. The concert series continues next month at the Schwaba Performing Arts Center with the Mystery and Wonder concert on October 20th. Discover Green Bay is promoting a week-long celebration called 920 Week, leading up to the date 9/20 this coming Saturday, or 920 as in our area code. There are dozens of different events throughout the week to celebrate, including festivals, live music, and block parties. You can also find special deals at Green Bay area businesses and destinations, including $1 off admission every day at the Green Bay Botanical Garden. News at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Connie Fellman, 97.9 WGBW News.
An update on Watson. Mike Clemens with sports. NFL. Packers receiver Christian Watson, recovering from a torn ACL, spoke to reporters. Wide receiver Jaden Reed is out for the next couple of months with a broken collarbone. So how close is Watson to returning to action?
Obviously, I got to get clearance from the medical team and whatnot, but I've got to feel 110% confident, and I'm going to be able to go out there and be Christian Watson, not 90%, or I need to be 100% of Christian Watson before I get out there.
The Wisconsin Badgers team frustrated after their 38-14 loss in Alabama over the weekend. Head coach Luke Fickell asked, does he ever get mad at his players after a poor performance?
No, you're always trying to say, okay, what's going to be the best, not for me, because it feels better sometimes to put your hand through a wall or put your head through a window, right? Yeah, that feels good at times. In the long run, I don't know what it does for us.
Baseball, the Brewers and Angels tonight at American Family Field. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
As Wisconsin is brats on the grill for a tailgate, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the upper 50s. Hot and humid again tomorrow, high in the mid-80s. Some showers and storms in the late afternoon, with increasing clouds throughout the day. Storm chances continue tomorrow night, Thursday, and Friday. Right now, it's 80.
This week, we sit down with Wisconsin Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski, and she talks about her run for lieutenant governor.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker, Saturdays at 2, Sundays at 1 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who loves to watch true crime, but only if it's shoplifting, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you with me on this Tuesday night. It's a fun show. Something feels different tonight, Conrad. I don't think it's just the smell coming from the kitchen either. I think there's something really in the air.
I think it's that salad you had.
Is it the salad?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I have never had that many vegetables in one sitting. They just packed it. Because what happened was she started making my salad and she forgot that she was making the wrong salad. So I had all these vegetables she already put in there. And then she had to finish making the salad I ordered. It was like I was like eating an entire garden.
You know, that's good.
Yeah. It's healthy.
Yeah. Get the greens.
That's right. It is great to have you here, folks. It's a Tuesday night. And in case you were not here during the first hour, oh, man, did you miss some serious fun? We talked about my paper cut, which I'm muscling through. I'm not, it's a paper cut, but it was one of those foil things you peel off almonds. It could be used as a weapon. I've seen more weaponry in spy movies. This could have killed someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking a lawsuit. I'm thinking I'm going to be retired in a year. Now, if I sue for damages, how much is a Band-Aid? Like 4 cents?
Yeah, like something around there.
Okay, but pain and suffering could net me another $1. So I'll keep you guys posted. We also talked about Nick Cannon, who has 12 kids from 6 wives and has just launched a relationship advice podcast. I think I know what the advice would be. Have unprotected sex.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's the way to go if you can swing it. All kinds of fun stuff, though. Trapper Shep will be here at 7:20, folks. It's an interview we did yesterday because Trapper's a busy guy. He's playing all over the state, and he's got a couple more dates coming up, so we had to squeeze him in on a Monday afternoon. So we'll air that at 7:20, so we will only be live for about 15 more minutes, so get those texts in, your favorite Robert Redford movie. And then we will close up the show live anyway at 7:20 and play my interview with Trapper Shep. We also play a couple of his great songs. He's got a new album out called Osborne and a great song called Loaded about prescription painkiller addiction, something he went through, a very personal song. And then he tells the story about how he collaborated with Bob Dylan for the song On Wisconsin. And we will play both of those tunes during the interview, so you won't want to miss that. Are we up to date, Con? What did I miss?
Yeah, I think we got just a couple more texts.
I'm like day 4 without gelato. Speaking of addictions.
You know, I had some today. I worked out and then had gelato. So I was like, you know what? Whatever.
You've earned it. You could do that at your age. That's the great thing. Yes, we do have some more texts. We'll get to those. Let's do that now. And then let's play a clip from one of my favorite movies of all time. 715 says 3 Days of the Condor. Yeah, another one I kind of forgot about. Great movie. Robert Redford goes out to get lunch. He comes back. Everyone in the office he works at is murdered. And it's just this great kind of high-octane sort of film. Great film. John from Madison says Sundance gave us Quentin Tarantino and many more great directors, many that Peter probably knows, which is so cool. I don't know Quentin Tarantino, John, unfortunately. I would love to. I think he's brilliant and loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I like most of his stuff a lot. Let's see. What else do we have here? John also says, I already read that one. Jim from Appleton says, okay, there are too many to choose ones. Here's a few. Situation hopeless, but not serious. 3 Days of the Condor, Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yes.
How do you like that?
I was waiting for someone to text that in because he made his way into the Marvel Universe and he did a great job.
I totally forgot he was in that.
He plays pretty much the bad guy in it.
Yeah. And then he also, Jim also puts The Great Waldo Pepper, which I have not seen as well. So there you go. Some great films, great suggestions and text tonight, folks. All right. I want to play this clip. This is from one of my favorite films of all time, but probably, definitely, maybe my favorite Robert De Niro film. This is from The Sting. Paul Newman has just swindled Bernard Shaw, whose character is called Doyle Lonigan. They played poker. They roped him in. He beat him. He out-cheated Doyle Lonigan, who is this big mobster from New York, coming to Chicago on the train to clean things up because Robert Redford's character ripped off the mob. So now they're trying to con Doyle Lonigan. So Paul Newman and Robert Redford are in cahoots. Paul Newman just beat him on the train at poker, took a few grand, and Robert Redford is trying to cozy up to Doyle Lonigan. Great clip on the train. Here we go.
Your boss is quite a card player, Mr. Kelly. How does he do it? He cheats. Well, in that case, I'll keep my money and we'll just have another game.
You don't have any to keep. Here's your wallet. You hired a dame to take it from you. Shaw's been planning to beat your game for months. He's just been waiting for you to cheat him so he could clip you.
Who do you think you're talking to, Aaron boy? Nobody sets me up. Take him back to the baggage room. Put one in his ear.
Christ's sake, there were 4 witnesses at that table.
And go back. Get that other damn son of a We'll dump him in the first tunnel we hit.
Doyle, we're gonna be in the station in a couple of minutes.
It ain't gonna look too good you killing a guy you owe money to. There's better ways of taking him down. What do you think Shaw would do to me if he knew I was telling you this? Okay. Why the rat? I want to take over his operation, and I need you to help me break him.
Where's my money? Shaw's got it. How the hell could I ask him for it back?
We'll pull him in.
I'm giving you a lift home. I'm supposed to go with Shaw.
Explain it to him somehow.
Everybody's expecting
I'm giving you a lift home.
You follow? Yeah, sure.
So great. And if you haven't seen The Sting, rent it tonight or buy it. Because the scene right before that, where Paul Newman swindles Doyle Lonigan out of the money, is hilarious. It is Paul Newman at his best, just insulting this guy. It's brilliant. We have another scene too. What's the other one? Oh, From the Way We Were. I sent that one to you, correct?
Yeah, this is the one with the pie.
The pie, and then I sent 3 clips too.
And Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy. So we played. All confused now because we played Butch Cassidy on Todd's show. So let's play that one next, Con. This is from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They're pinned on a mountain and surrounded, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of this predicament. Robert Redford, Paul Newman.
Kid, the next time I say let's go someplace like Bolivia, let's go someplace like Bolivia. Next time. Ready? No, we'll jump. Like hell we will. No, it'll be okay. The water's deep enough we don't get squished to death. They'll never follow us. How do you know? Would you make a jump like that and you didn't have to? I have to, and I'm not gonna. Well, we got to, otherwise we're dead. They're just gonna have to go back down the same way they come. Come on. Just one clear shot, that's all I want. Come on. We got to. Nope. Get away from me. Why? I want to fight them. They'll kill us. Maybe. You want to die? Do you? All right. I'll jump first. Nope. Then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim! Why, are you crazy? The fall will probably kill you.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's worth a look. All right, and I've got one final one here. This is Robert Redford with Barbra Streisand. This is a film, I think this was his second film he did. It's called The Way We Were, and he played the same character on Broadway for Neil Simon, and now he's in the movie version with Barbra Streisand. He's in military garb, the dress, pants, and coat, and she is running across the street with groceries, and I'll just leave it at that. Kind of an iconic scene.
Hey. I wasn't sure when you'd be home. How are you? Look, I don't know when I'll be back. Could you leave a key or...
No, you can. I got steaks and baked potatoes and sour cream and chives and salad and fresh baked pie. I would have made a pot roast. I make a terrific pot roast, but I didn't know whether you ever had pot roast or whether you like pot roast. I mean, anyway, there wasn't time because it should be made the day before. So I got steaks with all my ration stamps. And you must be hungry because, I mean, with all the hotel hunting, you couldn't have had time to eat or anything. I mean, you can't go yet. You've got to stay for supper. That's all there is to it.
What kind of pie?
Well, you cut a huge pause out of that one.
Yeah, I gotta say that sounds pretty good. Steaks, chives, potatoes, pie.
It. Absolutely,
that's a nice home cooked meal.
And there is a long pause there where he just kind of looks at her and finally, after I'm not kidding, like 5 seconds, says, "What kind of pie?" It's a great scene, very iconic scene. Robert Redford, rest in peace. Let's get back to some text here before we end the live part of the show. Steady Eddie from the 608 says, Pete, happy Monday, back at ya. Does anybody really know what time it is or day it is? Does anybody really care? The Robert Redford movie I'm remembering tonight is The Natural. Took me back to a fantasy time that never really existed in America, but I wish we could go back there again. Steady Eddie. P.S. The egg came first. That is in reference to Chicken or the Egg Photography. Thank you, Steady Eddie, for getting our sponsor's name in there again. Steady Eddie says, I had a paper cut the other day. Don't worry. The doctor says I'll be okay. We'll both get through this, Steady Eddie. We got a partner in crime. Tom from New Berlin says, great show, great listeners. That's the energy tonight. Robert legacy he would love. Well said, Tom. Thank you, buddy. Always great to have you listening. Did we cover everything? We got all our clips. Look at this. We got Trapper Shep coming up in a couple minutes. Yeah. We have a lot of, all week is just great guests, but tomorrow night specifically, I'm very excited. My pal Greg Schwem will be here. He is a syndicated columnist for Tribune Media Services. He's going to tell us about a really cool comedy event coming up, and we'll discuss some of his articles. And then Appleton native son and actor Mike McGill will be here at 6:35. Mike has great credits. He's a very successful working actor. He's been on Shameless and the show Bosch, and he sent me a clip last night of a movie, a short film, I think it is, called Penny. I haven't watched it yet. I got to watch it tonight. But he's in it with our pal Lance Barballs. Barballs is in that one.
Pete Schwaba.
Is that weird that two adults add balls to each other's last name? Lance started it. That's just his thing.
You know, I feel like once you get that nickname and it sticks, you never change it.
You can't get rid of it. So maybe Mike has a similar experience, or he and Lance call each other by genitalia names. I don't know. But Mike will be here tomorrow. Very excited to meet Mike on the air. And we'll be back to do it all again. What else am I missing? Check out Chicken and the Egg Photography, folks. Chris does a great job. He specializes in food, event music, and product photography for businesses across Wisconsin and the Midwest. See what he can do for you at chickenortheeggphotography.com. I'll be back tomorrow night, folks. I'd like to thank Susan Kearns and thank Trapper Shep for coming up in just a minute here. Thank you for all your texts and calls. Rest in peace, Robert Redford. And on behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba. We'll be back.
Bring it to your knees.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIInsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Hey, who wants to meet otters Renee and Caesar? It's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you. And Renee and Caesar, two North American river otters, are this year's ambassadors for the annual Walk for Wildlife by the Bay Beach Wildlife Sanctuary. It's this Saturday, September 20th. Created to support the purpose of helping the wildlife that are brought to the Bay Beach Wildlife Sanctuary. So if you're looking for a 5K with a local purpose, this is it. Plus, there's going to be a band there, food truck, awesome bucket raffles, and so much more. Check it out. Head to WGBW.fm and click events. Sign up now.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/.
Hey, this is John Legend, and you're listening to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba.
Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down.
Welcome back. We are barreling through a Tuesday night here at Nite Lite, folks, broadcasting live statewide from beautiful downtown Green Bay. Great to have you with me. And, you know, we've had so many great musical guests on this show before. And this one in particular, my next guest, is someone I've been looking forward to having on the show for quite some time. He is very well known here in Wisconsin and respected nationally as well. And he has collaborated with Bob Dylan, among many others. And he's got a new album out called Osborne, and it's great. It is my pleasure to welcome to Nite Lite, Trapper Shep. Hey, buddy.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Doing really well. I'm glad we finally lined this up because I've been very eager to have you on the show. So I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, it's on.com. Thank you for having me.
All right. Very cool. Our pleasure. So what are you, I know you just finished a bunch of dates, and I know you have a couple album release parties coming up. Are you just having downtime right now, or just kind of writing, or what's your life like at the moment?
I'm looking at some sunflowers in the back of my yard. They're about to blossom, bloom, and hanging with my dog, Leroy, and getting ready for some release shows. One in Minneapolis on September 19th. Milwaukee is September 27th, and Madison September 26th, and going to Europe in the fall as well. So, yeah.
So it's a perfect time to literally stop and smell the flowers right now before things get a little more crazy. Go. So that's
indeed
outstanding. Well, let's start with your new album, Osborne. It was just released a couple months ago. I love the story behind the album and where you were at the time and where you got the idea for the title. Can you give us a little background?
Yes, I was in a rehab facility in Minnesota, and I was in the Osborne unit. And lo and behold, Ozzy Osbourne had attended that same rehab facility. Now, the name Osborne, it's one letter off from his surname. But the Patients sort of appropriated it to be kind of the heavy metal Ozzy unit, if you will. So I wrote some songs when I was in there, kind of reflecting on the raw state I was in at the moment. And it's kind of crazy, like going back and revisiting some of that now. But yeah, some of the songs were born out of the Osborne unit. Yeah.
That's so cool. Did you feel, I'm sure as a performer, as an artist, did you kind of feel his presence? Or I think you said Eric Clapton stayed there, or one of his guitars was there. Did you feel inspired at all, or feel sort of their presence?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, it was not my intent to go there and work on music, right? But they did encourage journaling and writing, and so I guess it was kind of a way to channel some of what I was going through at the moment. Yeah.
Very cool. You're kind of I hate to pigeonhole you, Trapper, because you seem to mix genres, but did you ever and Ozzy Osbourne's a legend, did you ever go down that path of hard rock?
Well, on the album, there's a couple tunes that are harder, I suppose. There's a song called Satan is Real, Satan is a Sackler, inspired by the Sackler family, who kind of were big pushers of painkillers. But so yeah, there is some hard rock on the album for sure. But yeah, I've been a bit of a musical chameleon, and I don't know, it's not always easy to pin me down musically, which can work for me and against me in certain ways, but it's been kind of fun to hop around,
Yeah, for sure. All right, so when we have a few more minutes here, we're going to do a break, and then we're going to play a song off the new album Osborne, and it's a great song. Can you, in fact, if you don't mind elaborating a little bit on that, Trapper, the song we're going to hear in a couple minutes is called Loaded, and it's a great song. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that, even though you kind of just alluded to it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in my 20s, I struggled a bit as a result of having spinal surgery. I got, pretty dependent or addicted, as they say, on these meds. It wasn't your classic addiction like you might hear about in the news. Nothing sexy. It was treating chronic pain,
right?
And from spinal surgery. But yeah, I kind of just looked at these medicines and the pill bottles, and I kind of joked in my head that they were kind of loaded guns in a way, and I kind of thought of the prescriptions that way much later. But yeah, so the song Loaded is inspired by that. And then the music video features a friend of the program, as I have learned, Mark Borchardt. He's the evil prescribing doctor. So check out the music video for that. We filmed it in a break room, they call it in Milwaukee, where you go and you break a bunch of stuff. It's cathartic or whatever,
Oh, cool.
So.
All right. Trapper Chef is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is a Wisconsin-based singer-songwriter, more specifically Milwaukee, and he has done some really cool stuff. I finally got him on the show, and I'm thrilled. And we were talking about Mark Borchardt, a mutual friend of ours. Mark shares every post we do from Nite Lite. So, Trapper, I don't know what you did to get him in this movie, but I actually cast him in a movie. He shares posts, but he's like, you know what, Pete? I just don't want to come on the air. And I totally respect that. He is a great guy. And we are going to play Trapper's song Loaded when we come back from a break. And if you want, Google the video and check out Mark Borchardt and his great work in the video, too. We are coming right back. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Someone's living for their love. Someone's living for their lover. And I love her. I love
101.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM. Download the Civic Media app in the Google Play or Apple App Store and take us everywhere. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Dave Packer. The accused killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk making his very first court appearance over webcam today before Judge Tony Gaff.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
This shortly after prosecutors in Utah announced they'll seek the death penalty against the 22-year-old.
County Attorney Jeff Gray described Robinson's appearance in widely circulated photos, the black cap, shades, T-shirt with an eagle and an American flag. Millions saw those images. One of them was the suspect's own mother.
Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it.
Prosecutors say Robinson's parents convinced him to turn himself in.
ABC's Matt Gutman. At the heart of the investigation, Robinson's text messages to his roommate where he claimed he used his grandpa's rifle, a rifle authorities say had Robinson's DNA on the trigger. This is ABC News.
An update on Watson. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. NFL, Packers receiver Christian Watson, recovering from a torn ACL, spoke to reporters. Wide receiver Jaden Reed is out for the next couple of months with a broken collarbone. So how close is Watson to returning to action?
Obviously, I got to get clearance from the medical team and whatnot, but I've got to feel 110% confident, and I'm going to be able to go out there and be Christian Watson, not 90%, or I need to be 100% of Christian Watson before I get out there.
The Wisconsin Badgers team frustrated after their 38-14 loss in Alabama over the weekend. Head coach Luke Fickell asked, does he ever get mad at his players after a poor performance?
No, you're always trying to say, okay, what's going to be the best, not for me, because it feels better sometimes to put your hand through a wall or put your head through a window, right? Yeah, that feels good at times. In the long run, I don't know what it does for us.
Baseball, the Brewers and Angels tonight at American Family Field. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Rainn Wilson appeared on the Last Laugh podcast last week and said he felt that at times the show The Office went too far with racial and sexist jokes. Wilson, who played Dwight Schrute, said they could never get away with some of the jokes now. Wilson also said that NBC ultimately passed on a spinoff which would have starred the Dwight Schrute character and would have been set on his character's beat farm. The show would have been called The Farm. News from the Emmys, Stephen Colbert presented the Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. Beforehand, Colbert jokingly asked when he got behind the mic if anyone was hiring. Colbert will exit The Late Show in May of 2026. Colbert also joked that he brought his resume and showed the crowd his old headshot. The Late Show host was visibly moved when the crowd started chanting Steven. Great guy. And by the way, Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series went to Seth Rogen for The Studio. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Local news, weather, and sports on air and streaming on the Civic Media app. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the upper 50s. Hot and humid again tomorrow, high in the mid-80s. Some showers and storms in the late afternoon, with increasing clouds throughout the day. Storm chances continue tomorrow night, Thursday, and Friday. Currently at 75 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on out in a barroom night, into
He's a bartender in a pool of blood. Cries out, my God, they've killed them all.
Welcome back.
The story of the
I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Great to have you with me on this Tuesday night. That is a song, Hurricane, by Bob Dylan, that we'll talk about with our current guest in just a few minutes. He is Trapper Shep, a Wisconsin-based singer-songwriter, and we are proud to call him a Wisconsinite. We were talking about your song, Loaded, Trapper, and you mentioned you got Mark Borchardt in the video, and I was saying that I would love to have him on the show. He's a good friend, but he just doesn't want to do it. What did you have to do to get him out of retirement when it comes to being on camera?
Oh, I don't know. Mark's a neighbor and a pal.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't too much of a stretch.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. But he's a great personality and great source of inspiration and energy in the community. And I don't know, I think he's drawn to projects that interest him, and he's just a great guy. So
could not agree more. All right, well, without further ado, let's hear, this is off the album Osborne, Trapper Shep's latest work, and it's called Loaded, and it is a great song. That was Loaded, a great song by my current guest, Mr. Trapper Shep, a Milwaukee-based singer-songwriter who has collaborated with some great people and put out really excellent material. Trapper, do you have a song when you tour or when you play live that people want to hear the most or request the most?
Oh, I wish I had a big hit like that, man. No, there are certain tunes though from back in the day. And on Wisconsin, you mentioned that people like to hear that in Wisconsin, I suppose.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask the people.
Well, we will get Conrad, take a memo. Let's get on that and find out what people's favorite song is of Trappers. Trapper, you mentioned On Wisconsin, a great song. And I don't know that, I'm sure most of the people know the story behind this and how you kind of found this song and finished it. But it was a song written by Bob Dylan, but not quite finished, like 50 years ago. And it's called On Wisconsin. You finished it. Can you tell us a little bit about that process, how you found the song and what made you want to finish it?
Indeed. Well, you know, Bob Dylan is one of my childhood heroes, for one. He sort of invented what I do, in a sense. He's one of the greats, no doubt.
Yeah.
And in 1960, on the day he was recording his first album, he wrote a song just called Wisconsin, and it was like 4 verses, and it did not make the cut on that first album. And 57 years later, I was scrolling through the internet, and his old roommate had posted just this sheet of lyrics as like a relic, you know, a novelty item for auction, $30,000. And I thought, well, it's sort of in the tradition of folk music to sort of pick up where one generation has left off. So I took it upon myself, without his permission, to finish the song. So I set it to music. We added a chorus. My band did a great job pulling it all together. And then we put it out there on the internet, and eventually Rolling Stone took notice, and Billboard took notice. You eventually took notice, and Bob Dylan's lawyers took notice too. And it was good, though. They said, how would you feel about, you know, publishing this song with Bob Dylan for the very first time? And I said, I feel really good about that. So, yeah, that was kind of how it happened. That's the Spark Notes version, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was cool. It was a trip, and to kind of share a co-writing credit with a songwriting giant like that it's pretty cool.
It's incredible. And did you see Blowing in the Wind?
Or the movie?
The movie, yeah.
What was it called? The new movie, A Complete Unknown, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, A Complete Unknown, yeah.
Yeah. I think the kid did a good job.
Yeah.
A tall order.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, I mentioned sometimes how you do, you know, you write stuff that could fall into different genres. For someone like you, who is truly, you know, not pigeonholed into one genre or one type of music, is it harder to find a producer who has a grasp of what you're looking for? Or is it easier because of kind of the uniqueness of your material?
Well, I think it's easier to find a producer. It's harder to find an audience for it, right? Because when things aren't like easily understood in this world that likes categories, it can be challenging to kind of, you know, find where it's going to be heard. But, you know, I just got off a call with a music supervisor type who places things in TV and film, and I just did like a whole album of like pop songs, right?
Right.
And for kind of more TV and film and commercial work. And that's so specific, right? But I think my albums tend to go where they want to go.
Right.
And there's good and bad in that, I suppose. But yeah, I think like it's maybe easier for a country artist because it's like, hey, I'm country.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I'm trapper. I'm not sure what I am. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Pros and cons, I guess.
My guest is Trapper Shep. He is a Milwaukee-based singer-songwriter who has collaborated with Bob Dylan, and we are going to hear that song in just a minute. So we've got about a minute, and we'll get the song going, Trapper, and I think we'll let it just take us to the break, and we'll come back and wrap things up afterwards. But aside from Bob Dylan, you've got so many great influences. Who else do you like to work with?
Who do I like to work with? Well, the latest producer is a fellow named Mike Viola, who's really this power pop gem of a producer, and he wrote and sang that song, "That Thing You Do," most famously. But his albums are really cool in his own right, and he's kind of a shapeshifter songwriter guy as well. So yeah, he's great to work with. We worked with Pat from the band Wilco on an album I did at Johnny Cash's cabin, which is a whole other story.
Oh, wow.
But I've been fortunate, I guess.
Well, this is great.
Able to connect with people.
Yeah, we're gonna play the song "On Wisconsin." This is the song that Trapper finished for Bob Dylan. He was like the lefty out of the bullpen, and it's a great song. We'll take this to the break. We'll come back and wrap things up with our pal Trapper Shep. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yeah, Wisconsin is a dairy state, guess you all know it well. I was in Wauwatosa, the truth I will tell. It's a milk and cheese and cream, yes, I've known it all my days. And I'm going back to my hometown, I'm leaving right away. I'm headed to Wisconsin, 2,000 miles to go. Madison, Milwaukee, sets my heart aglow. I'm a-coming to that state and my heart's beating fast. And I'll jerk my banjo gently, twiddle my mustache on Wisconsin. On Wisconsin, calling me that way. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, I think I'm going to stay. Those thoughts I left there long ago, ones are coming now, it seems. I'll tune my banjo in the hills and feast on milk and cream. And I'll stamp my foot through the grass, and I'll never know or care. Yes, my home's in Wauwatosa, and I'm going there. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, calling me that way. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, I think I'm going to stay. These people with your city ways are driving me insane to drink. My home's in Wisconsin, it's a better place, I think. I have been in California.
Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off. You've got this. Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms. Connecting audiences, powering brands. This is Civic Media. Learn more at civicmedia.us/advertise.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network for a few more minutes here on this Tuesday edition of Nite Lite. My guest is Trapper Shep, Milwaukee-based singer-songwriter. And what you just heard before the break was the song On Wisconsin that he collaborated with Bob Dylan, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Bob Dylan, not a guy named Bob Dylan from Wausau. This is the actual Bob Dylan. Great song, Trapper. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I mean, I'd be curious to know what Bob Dylan from Wausau has up his sleeve as well.
He is no slouch, I'll tell you that. You might just look at his lyrics. That's all I'm saying. So this is fun. You've got, I did some research on you. I read this article that said you hurt yourself in a biking accident. And that's when you started playing guitar. And I love the moment when I talk to artists that they can look back on and say that's when it all started. Is that when it all started for you, was when you got that first guitar? And if not, when was that moment for you where you were like, I'm doing this?
Yeah, I think it was probably, I herniated a disc in my back. My mom said, here, you should maybe try this. It could be safer than hurling yourself off giant dirt jumps and breaking your back. So yeah, I would say that was the defining moment. And, you know, I was listening to or watching a movie in my basement, and the song Hurricane by Bob Dylan came on that you played earlier, and there was that like A minor chord, and it just was like boom. You know, the man, Bob, telling that story with such conviction, and his voice wasn't perfect. And I thought, wow, maybe I could sing a song too. I don't, you know, my voice doesn't have to be dialed. So yeah, I think definitely hearing his music at a young age had a big impact on me.
Wow, that's great. And you're very similar to him too. I mean, I'm not a music expert or anything, but you seem to take chances with lyrics. You use humor too in your songs. Does that just, when you're writing a song, is that just the way things kind of transpire, or do you set out to say, this song, I have a funny idea, I want to put this in a song? How does it work for you?
Yeah, I think in, you need a balance in your music, the darkness and the light.
Sure.
And yeah, I think humor is always a good solution when you're stuck in maybe a darker subject in a song. You want to lighten things up, even if people don't pick up on it. You pick up on it as the guy who's got to sing it. So
sure. I noticed I love your song Wildfire too. That was one of the songs I found online. And you said you were influenced a little bit by Bruce Springsteen. Is he kind of, where do you put him in terms of legendary songwriters?
Well, he's the boss, right?
All right.
I guess he's the boss. I love what Jon Stewart, I think, said about, Bob Dylan at least, or Bruce Springsteen. It was like if Bob Dylan and James Brown had a love child, it would come out as a Bruce Springsteen. No, I just love Bruce's lyrics, and I think he has a great spirit about him. He's been through so much, and he's had so many different chapters, and he's really honest and vulnerable with his lyrics, and him, just the way he carries himself. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to aspire to with the boss.
Indeed. Just curious, but have you ever heard his Devils and Dust album?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Me too.
That's a beautiful one.
It's like right up there with Nebraska as far as I'm concerned. The lyrics are absolutely incredible. My guest is Trapper Shep. You can see him at the Burr Oak in Madison, September 26th for an album release party, or September 27th in Milwaukee at Vivarium. I hope I'm saying that right. Before we let you go, Trapper, we got about a minute or two left. I talk about movies and TV a lot on this show, as well as comedy and music. Are you watching anything, binge watching anything that you could recommend?
Big time. I'm on my first try through the X-Files right now.
Oh, wow.
With Mulder and Scully at the wheel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't need to recommend that to anyone, but I love it. I think it's super funny, and Mulder is this wild man detective, always pushing the envelope, and he's always against the system, against the man. He's looking for the truth.
Right.
And that's harder to find these days, the truth.
Indeed.
So yeah, I dig it. He's cool.
That's a great show. I love the first few seasons. Then it seemed to kind of taper off. But boy, it was just great. It was so creepy. And same. I love David Duchovny.
Well, don't tell me it gets worse. I want it to get better. I believe it will, as they find the truth.
Oh man, I thought that was about as unspoiler alerty as I could be, but I apologize if you find yourself getting bored watching the X-Files. You won't for a very long time. It's a great show. Trapper, thank you so much for your time and sharing your music with us. I hope we could do this again sometime. I'm a huge fan.
The truth is out there. Trust no one.
And it's in Trapper Shep's music, so check it out. And check him out in Madison or Milwaukee on September 26th and 27th. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Conrad, we finally made that happen. We've been trying to get Trapper on,
Yes.
not like harassing him or anything, but I know Terry Barr introduced us to him, and his music is fantastic.
Fun interview.
Very fun guy, and incredibly talented, obviously. All right, this is we got a great show tomorrow night too, folks. I hope you come back and visit us tomorrow night, where we will have actor Mike McGill from Bosch and Shameless, and comedian and syndicated columnist Greg Schwem will be here. My thanks to Trapper Shep and to you, the listener, for all your texts and calls. It's been a fun night here on Nite Lite. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Moving around mysteriously.